When thinking about sports, most people would envision players on a field, someone's stats, or maybe even last week's game. You may also think about a player's recent injury and how long they'll be off the field recovering. However, what many fail to focus on is not only the player's physical attributes, the mental and psychological aspects, and how that can affect the game. Athletes tend to put their all into their sports, which is why when they suffer an injury, it can cause such a strong response. 90% of all athletes have sustained a sports-related injury, which means 90% of athletes have the opportunity to face the mental challenges that can come with that injury, such as sadness, isolation, irritation, and lack of motivation, among other things. These negative emotions are normal as it can feel like an injury is a life-altering issue. In a more serious context, injuries can also cause diagnosable mental health issues, such as depression, eating disorders, and suicidal thoughts or actions. Around 15 to 21% of college athletes are said to have depression already, so adding another stressful aspect to their lives, such as a serious injury, can have drastic and potential long-term effects. The risk of long-term mental health issues caused by sports-related injuries is especially high, as the peak age of performance for many athletes overlaps with the peak age for the risk of onset of mental disorders. Because of this, many athletes will develop a mental disorder which will follow them into their adult lives. Some of the most common disorders are anxiety disorders, which can be tied to performance anxiety, panic disorder, and phobic disorder. Phobic disorders can be most commonly found in athletes that have sustained an injury, as the disorder is described to involve persistent, unrealistic, intense anxiety and fear of specific situations, circumstances, or objects. When it comes to an athlete's personal thoughts or opinions, many people like to use the phrase, "shut up and play the game." This mindset can cause a dehumanization in athletes that can cause them to believe their voice won't be heard, as no one will care what they have to say. It is also common for elite athletes to deal with the pressures of increased public scrutiny through mainstream and social media, which causes the increased stereotype that to speak up about mental health is a personal weakness. As LSU is a Division I school, we felt it was necessary to interview an athlete on their opinions concerning mental health.
These responses are from a member of the LSU football team.
Have you ever experienced a physical injury while participating in college athletics? What was the recovery process like physically?
I have never experienced a serious injury like a torn ACL or MCL or a concussion. However, I have experienced minor injuries including pulled hamstrings, shin splints, and tendonitis in my knees. The recovery process was somewhat simple. It mainly involved taking anti-inflammatory medications along with doing specific stretches and exercises to strengthen the muscles.
Did you ever experience any effects mentally from this injury that you feel comfortable talking about? Did you feel as though you were mentally injured as well from this physical injury?
There were minor mental effects that affected practice performance, but these did not last long. The effects were generally all based around being confident enough in the recovery process to work. There would be times where I would go out to practice and mentally not trust that I was fully healthy, so I was not able to perform to the level I wanted to. I have never had this issue in a game setting, though.
What is your opinion on the stigma around mental health in athletes? What do you think was the most important part of your recovery in terms of physical and mental recovery?
I do strongly believe that mental health in athletes should be taken very seriously. There are many athletes that struggle with their mental health, especially due to the hard demands of being a college athlete. The most important part of my recovery was consistency, doing the physical work in the training room in order to get back to practice. Also, though, it was crucial to trust the process and believe in the trainers.